This is your AE. Are we good?
Yep.
I think
we're good.
This is your Fighter Fest review on Wednesday, July 21st, 2021. Joseph Conlon here to talk about the show tonight. Man, I gotta bring it up first. I thought I wasn't gonna be here tonight. Thunderstorms here in the shore at work. Power outages at my house, but I made it. I found a way to make it tonight, man, and I'm so happy I made it. I did not want to miss this review. I didn't want to miss Dynamite tonight, and man, I'm happy I'm here. I got Wesley Williams, the co-host for AEW, man. I already know you're positive. How are you feeling after this this excellence that we saw tonight from AEW once again?
I don't know, Joseph. I don't know if I can put it into words how excited I am feeling. How I want Fight for the Fallen to get here already. AEW leaves us with such a good taste in our mouths, man. It's gourmet. It's like you're eating a well-cooked steak at a famous restaurant, man. It is just beautiful. It's tender. It's just perfect. I mean, AEW, man. Going into this show tonight, the card wasn't looking as strong as last week's, but AEW has proven time and time again, even if the card's not looking all that great, they still deliver a banger show at the end of it all, and that's what they did tonight. Fyter Fest Night 2, grand success, just like last week with Night 1. Joseph, we have so much to talk about. AEW leaves us talking with so much. I mean, every week now, our reviews are left with so much to talk about, and that's the great thing about AEW. That's the beauty about AEW. They leave us with so many great things to talk about. Joseph, I can't wait to dive right into it.
And they proved it tonight. You don't need a strong card to have on to put on an excellent show like they did tonight. In my opinion, you know, they only had one strong match on this card, and it was the main event. But we had the women's title match, which I really didn't care about going into it, but you know, they ended up putting on a I overreacted to it. I said on Twitter, "Oh, this was a great match." I thought it was good. I watched highlights of it. Jericho and Shawn Spears, very predictable, but it was good. We will talk about what happened after that match. As you guys see in the title, you know who showed up after that match. We had the one of the top greatest exchanges of the entire year with Sting and Orange Cassidy. Man, that was some funny shit, man. That was I was floored seeing Sting do shin kicks to Orange Cassidy. I couldn't put it into words, but we had an excellent show tonight from Dallas, Texas. I figured I'd put on the Cowboys hat since they're in Cowboy Town tonight. But thank you all for joining us here tonight on the channel. Excellent show. Fight for the Fallen is looking absolutely crazy stacked next week, man. And AEW is just riding its momentum since that July 7th Road Rager show. And folks, before we get into the show tonight, I don't know how true this could be, but all day today from Fightful Select put out a huge rumor. I don't have the official article in front of me, and I'm not gonna I don't want the time to pull it up, but it seems like CM Punk is in negotiations to come back and wrestle, and the top contender for him to come back to is AEW. And then later tonight during the show, there's rumors going out there that Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon, has signed with AEW. And it was I read the article on bodyslam.net. I don't know how reliable it is, so do not quote me for this. Do not screen record it, anything. But from what they said, the plan is for him to debut on that September 22nd Grand Slam show at Arthur Ashe Stadium. Right now, I think, Wesley, we talked about this off camera, and we'll bring it up here again. Show quality wise, AEW blows out WWE. That's not a debate. That's not an argument. Show quality wise, no problem. You got the expression on your face right there. But I feel like as top wrestling company and what people watch more or what people know more, WWE is number one and AEW is number two. If Tony Khan, if Tony Khan and AEW get Punk and Bryan, they're gonna jump WWE. And I'm not over exaggerating. I'm not trying to shill AEW here. I'm just saying facts. If they get Punk and Bryan, they top WWE as far as the top of the mountain goes, in my opinion. And that's not a debate because then AEW will truly have all the star power that they have. They'll have Punk, they'll have Bryan, Omega, I mean, their roster's ridiculous right now for the amount of stars that they made, but they add CM Punk and they add Bryan Danielson on it. Game over, as Miro says. Game over.
Absolutely. I mean, you talk about like the two biggest game changers in pro wrestling. I mean, you look no further than Daniel Bryan and CM Punk. For those of you that don't know, Daniel Bryan is my all-time favorite wrestler. I love Daniel Bryan with a freaking passion. I love everything he stands for. He reminds me, and I'm sure it reminds a lot of you of just like he's just like one of us, and that's what's made him so connectable over all these years. And CM Punk, the man's been out of pro wrestling for the better part of 7 years. He's still talked about very heavily to this day about a return to pro wrestling. Why is that? Because whether you like it or not, CM Punk is one of the most polarizing figures in all of pro wrestling, especially in the modern era. Ever since he cut that pipe bomb promo 10 years ago on Monday Night Raw, he has been one of the most talked about names in pro wrestling. And even still, with him being gone for those 7 years now, he's still talked about. Now these reports are coming out that Punk and Bryan might very well be showing up in AEW really soon. I'm telling you, WWE is going to be in some real trouble if AEW and Tony Khan have picked up Daniel Bryan and CM Punk. And man, I hope and pray it happens because I don't know what I'm going to do with myself if both those guys land in AEW. I imagine Punk, I would want to expect he would show up at All Out because it's in Chicago. It's in his hometown. Could you imagine the sold out now arena going absolutely ape shit if CM Punk showed up in the middle of that ring, possibly going face to face with Kenny Omega? Could you imagine that? That would be absolutely wild. And then Daniel Bryan possibly rumored for the September 22nd show at Arthur Ashe Stadium. I mean, you got a bigger audience there. You got 15,000 seats already sold, 15,000 tickets already sold, and that's a 20,000 plus seat arena. And they're gonna get sold out. I get with the traction that they're getting right now for that show, they're gonna get that show sold out for sure. And man, you talk about a more thunderous roar. And for a guy like Daniel Bryan, I mean, the yes chance that you would hear all around that stadium, deafening, I'm sure. It's a crazy, crazy week for AEW. Crazy news. I mean, they delivered a great show tonight. They got this news right now about Bryan and Punk. Man, it's kind of a believe it when you see it kind of deal, but I mean, I got good confidence, man. I've had this good confidence about it for a long time now. And then Tony Khan, man, what an amazing businessman this guy is. This guy knows what he's doing. He's got so many tricks up his sleeve, man, and he keeps on delivering the hits. And he's going to continue to do that as the weeks and the months progress, man. AEW is on the trajectory and the momentum of a lifetime here right now.
You look at the shows that they put on and the feuds that go on and the positive rumors about them. It's like, how is it possible to people to go out there and hate this company? I mean, I don't get it, dude. I don't get it.
It doesn't make any sense, man. I mean, if you're not with AEW, I saw a clip before Dynamite today. Keeks got on the mic, and his exact words were, "If you ain't with AEW, you ain't shit." And man, the roar of the crowd that came out of that promo was just absolutely lovely to see, man. Eddie Kingston's great, and man, it's such a true statement. If you ain't with AEW, you ain't shit. Because I don't know how in the world you cannot look at AEW and think, man, this is awesome. If you're a true pro wrestling fan like myself and Joseph are, how can you not look at AEW and think, like, man, this is awesome. I'm enjoying myself for the 2 hours that I'm given on Wednesday night on TNT. And it's like it leaves you with wanting more. That's what you want out of a pro wrestling show. I mean, after the garbage that ensued earlier on in this week with WWE, I mean, how can you not look at AEW and think, wow, this is way better? It just wouldn't make any sense to me. It would boggle my mind. I mean, you're not a true professional wrestling fan in my eyes if you don't think, man, you look at AEW, wow, that's great. And then you look at WWE and you somehow think that's better. It just personally doesn't make sense to me, man. But AEW is on fire right now, and I'm so happy. I'm so proud of this company, man. I've been a supporter since day freaking one, since they made that announcement that AEW was forming back in January 2019, man. I've been all in with that entire run with AEW. I love this company with all my heart, man, and it's going to be so amazing to see them continue to grow more and more as the years go.
Tony Khan's firing on all cylinders, man, and he is not. He's not fucking messing around. He is in this to be the top dog, and that's what you should want out of your boss, out of your owner. And the other guy, which we're not going to talk about, he's in it for money and revenue and stuff like that. You guys know who I'm talking about. But I don't really want to talk about WWE tonight because this is an AEW night. And we're about to talk about Fyter Fest Night 2, which opened up around. I started the show around 8:30 with my power coming back on at 8:15, and we had Chris Jericho versus Shawn Spears, which was the first labor of Jericho. Shawn Spears could use a chair while Jericho could not. Absolutely loved MJF on commentary. He's amazing. He's acting all buddy-buddy with Tony Schiavone, which I think's hilarious. And then just a good match between Jericho and Spears. I didn't really see it. Nothing too crazy, out of the ordinary. Sammy Guevara got involved at the end, took down he chased Tully Blanchard away. Spears was looking for the C4 with the chair on Jericho, but Jericho got off. He pushed Spears into a steel chair, and Spears ate the Judas effect, and Chris Jericho defeated Shawn Spears in his first labor, and MJF immediately got on the microphone. He's like, whoa, 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 whoa. You had to have your little friend Sammy Guevara come out and help you, and if anyone else comes out and helps you, Chris, from now on, our deal's off, and you don't get the match against me. So he can't have anybody help. He can't have anybody help him to win his matches. And he says next week is going to be your second labor, and next week you're facing one of the most violent, one of the most brutal guys in the professional wrestling business. This guy has robbed banks. So right there, I knew exactly who it was. And MJF brung out MDK, Nick fucking Gage. I popped big. I'm sure you did. The Texas crowd went crazy. And we are getting a no rules match next week with Nick Gage and the Painmaker, Chris Jericho. I am praying for Jericho next week because this guy, Nick Gage, came out with a fucking pizza cutter. And we've seen plenty of pizza cutters. We saw it Saturday night at Slammiversary with Sami Callihan and Kenny Omega. Now we see it on Fight for the Fallen with Nick Gage and Jericho.
Absolutely amazing. Yeah, the match with Spears and Jericho, I thought it was a great opening match. It was honestly better than I initially anticipated with these two guys. I thought they delivered it really well. And Jericho, of course, gets the win. Very predictable there. But the surprise after the match was so amazing, man. MDK, Nick effing Gage is in AEW. And I'm not sure if it's just a one-time only appearance. I kind of feel like it might be. It might be kind of like a Jeff Cobb kind of deal where Jeff Cobb showed up for that one episode of Dynamite to face Jon Moxley one-on-one, and then he went back to wrestling in New Japan. But Nick Gage, man, this no DQ match with Chris Jericho next week is the second labor of Jericho. I don't know I don't know what to expect, man, but it's going to get real bloody and it's going to get real freaking violent. Nick Gage is probably one of the most unpredictable human beings you could ever come across. So, I think we all need to say a really big prayer for Chris Jericho next week. He's bringing back the Painmaker gimmick that he made famous in New Japan. And I love that. I love that little detail. I love the fact that Jericho is bringing back an old persona of his that he used in New Japan. This is going to be so amazing, dude. I mean, this is another one of Tony Khan's like many amazing surprises. I mean, you couldn't have started a show better than that, man. Nick Gage, Chris Jericho next week, no DQ match is gonna be great, man. I cannot wait for it.
This makes me think, how's Jericho even going to beat this crazy guy, Nick Gage? Because you said it best. He's one of the most unpredictable guys you can come across from. And, man, he does not give a fuck about anything, man. He's going to go out there and he's going to kill you. He, like, literally, like, I think he has a match against Mike Cardona this weekend at one of the GCW shows. I'm thinking about watching it now.
Yeah, I know their feud's been brewing quite a bit over on Twitter and stuff. Yeah, quite a feud going between those two guys. I wonder how Matt Cardona is going to fare this weekend. So it'll be interesting.
Are you gonna watch the match?
I don't know. Maybe I'll try to catch it somewhere, but I don't know. But yeah, pray for Matt Cardona too, man, because he probably ain't surviving this weekend.
I don't even think Cardona's gonna beat him. I think Jericho. I think will. They'll have to find a way, but he's not gonna come out the same, man. And this is gonna be crazy. This is gonna be insane. This is really gonna be insane with these two. But what a great start to Dynamite it was. Nick effing Gage. I don't think he's all elite like you said, but man, he's coming in. He's gonna face Jericho next week, and we are gonna see pizza cutters and forks and whatever the hell he's got up his sleeve. I have no idea, man. This guy's crazy. He really is. But good on Jericho for taking this match, because I don't know. Would you take a match against Nick Gage?
No. No, absolutely not. No, I value my life, actually. No thanks. No thanks, Nick. Sorry.
Same. You couldn't pay me. But next we had Luke Gallows against Frankie Kazarian. Announced today. Solid match. It was fine. Gallows got the win, which I was kind of surprised by, but it was the right decision considering what happened after the match. So Gallows defeats Kazarian, and the Elite come out. Not the Elite, just Kenny Omega. He's out there with the Good Brothers, Don Callis, and Carl Anderson. I forgot his name real quick. By the way, now that I mentioned Kenny Omega, man, what'd you think about that Jay White confrontation Saturday night?
Beautiful, man. I hate, though, and I'm sure you saw it too, the freaking feed cutting off at the end. I mean, really, TNA? Really? Like, that was such, I mean, that got me pissed off pretty well for, like, that first, those little few minutes. I calmed down a little bit after that, but I was like, man, you cut off at the perfect moment, and it's like, golly. But Jay White confronting Kenny Omega, I mean, and then I'm hearing Bound for Glory is going to involve AAA, AEW, and New Japan. I mean, I got to tune in. I got to tune into Bound for Glory, man. You know I got to tune into that. But Slammiversary, it was a great show. I love the main event with Sammy and Kenny. I love that main event. That was amazing. Definitely one of Kenny's like best matches in this run as AEW World and as Impact World Champion too. But
I think that was Sammy. I think that was the best Sammy Callahan match I think I've ever seen.
Yeah. No, Sammy was a star that night for sure, man. Sammy, you could tell, man. Sammy is the man in Impact. But yeah, I don't know what's going to come with the Jay White stuff, man. But I love it. I'm all in with that. I mean, AEW is. It's like there's so much they're doing right now. It's like it's almost hard to cover it because they're doing so much. It's like it's just, man, it's so much to take in all at once, you know.
Hey, man, at this point, it feels like that. Impact Wrestling is a bigger deal than NXT. It's just Just a jab right there.
Honestly, man, I might have to agree with you, man. I mean, after what happened to our NXT champion back on Monday, it's just a sad state of affairs right now for NXT.
Yeah, no harsh feelings for NXT, but that's just how I feel right there. I'm not trying to bury NXT, but legit, Impact Wrestling feels more important than NXT right now, and that's a bad thing. So,
Yeah.
but we had Omega and the Good Brothers confronting Frankie Kazarian. Kazarian got beat up more. Omega's like, you were the elite hunter, and now you're elite hunted. And we are here to get you. And he drops the mic. Hangman Page comes out to a massive pop. He's brawling with Gallows and Anderson. Omega ducks by like a coward. And then the Dark Order, Uno, Grayson, Silver, and Reynolds all come out and they chase away the Elite. Hangman Page hits the buckshot lariat on Carl Anderson. And next week is the big match. 5-on-5 elimination match, Survivor Series style, the Elite versus Hangman Page and the Dark Order. I expect that to be next week's main event. It's going to be Hangman with Uno, Grayson, Alex Reynolds, and John Silver, with the Elite being Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and the Good Brothers. Pay-per-view level match next week on live television, man. But how are they gonna get by this? How are they gonna get Kenny Omega to lose? How are they gonna get the Young Bucks to lose? Because if I'm being honest with you, I see Hangman Page and the Dark Order going over next week. I mean, how could you not? Literally, how could you not have them go over?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's tricky. Yeah, I wasn't actually thinking about that. It's like, yeah, you got the champions in a non-title match, or they could lose by elimination. So it's tricky. But I mean, I'd expect Page and the Dark Order to win, like you said. So I mean, I'm gonna have to see how AEW plays it. But I have confidence that they could play it in a solid way. I mean, hopefully they can do it to where nobody looks weak and everybody still looks strong in the end. But it's definitely going to be a big match next week. Big fight feel, for next week. So Fight for the Fallen already. I mean, it's looking stacked, man. That main event with the 5-on-5. I'm assuming that's going to be the main event. That it's going to be crazy. It's going to be wild. I'm hoping they just do something where it doesn't make the Bucks and Kenny look weak in the end. So,
Are you gonna be sad if the Elite go over?
I don't know if I'll be sad. I mean, I feel like maybe it's just a bigger part of the story. Maybe it's going to add more to the story if the Elite end up going over next week and Hangman and Dark Order can't get the job done. Maybe they prolong it even more. I mean, the story's pretty unpredictable. You never know what could really happen. I mean, it's like I feel like AEW knows a lot of us are expecting Hangman and the Dark Order to go over next week, but who knows? They might swerve us, and the Elite could go over and they prolong this even more. I mean, we'll have to see, but it's going to be interesting.
We'll have to see what happens, man. But very, very excited for this 5-on-5 match next week, and it's unpredictable. But I had to choose. I am going with Hangman Page and the Dark Order to win this 5-on-5 match next week, and then what do we have after that? Wasn't it the Darby match? I think.
Yes, I think it was Wheeler Yuta and Darby Allin right after.
Take it away. You got the floor. Take it away.
Well, yeah, another nice match here. It was another quick match, but Wheeler Yuta, man, AEW sees a lot in this guy. I'm impressed by him so far. I've watched him on Elevation and on Dark. And
I think it's pretty clear. I think it's pretty clear that they like him.
Yeah, and apparently other companies, like including WWE, have been looking at him for him to be signed. AEW's been showcasing a lot, so it makes me kind of think AEW, I think, might, if not already, they might end up getting Wheeler Yuta, and I wouldn't be mad at it. And the fact that Wheeler Yuta's been associating with the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy, and then He's had a match with Sammy Guevara, one of the biggest rising stars in pro wrestling. And then tonight, a match with another one of the biggest rising stars in pro wrestling, and Darby Allin has a nice match with him. I feel like this is AEW testing Wheeler Yuta on a big stage like Dynamite, and just really test him out to see if he's like ready to be signed by AEW, if he's ready to be on this big stage. And, I wouldn't be mad if they signed him. I think he's a bright young talent. I think, as time goes on, I think as he progresses more, he could be something pretty special for the company.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But he had this match with Darby Allin tonight. Solid match. Darby Allin got the win, get some more momentum for him. I think that if Hangman Page and the Dark Order do not win next week, I think Darby Allin's your new contender for Kenny Omega. I think that would probably make the most sense. And they've built up Darby so good over the last few, since his time in AEW, with him being the TNT champion and his feud with Ethan Page, that I think if Darby Allin losing to Kenny Omega at All Out is not going to hurt him. And so if Hangman loses next week, if Hangman and the Dark Order lose next week, and they don't get their shots, and Hangman does not go to All Out, I think Darby Allin is going to face Kenny Omega. That's my prediction. Could you see that?
I could see it. I think Darby is still in the top 5 rankings right now, so I think it would make sense to go with Darby if they don't end up going with Hangman for All Out. But we'll have to see what happens. We got to bring up the funny, hilarious spot during this match between Mr. Orange Cassidy and our lovely Sting, the Stinger himself. I mean, what a sight! What a sight that is, man. Orange Cassidy and Sting exchanging kicks, exchanging the Orange Cassidy kicks with each other. I mean, that's just great entertainment. That is quality entertainment. I don't care what anybody says. That's quality entertainment, and it's harmless too. People these trolls online shouldn't get up in arms because, oh my gosh, Sting's playing along with Orange Cassidy's gimmick. Yeah, because it's entertaining, because it's fun, and I loved it, and a lot of other people loved it too. So that was probably one of the biggest takeaways from this match, was the fact that Orange Cassidy and Sting had a kick battle on the outside.
What's the big thing about this too? It's actually good comedy, and you know what? It actually made people laugh, and not whatever WWE's doing, but this was actually funny, and it actually got me to laugh a little bit. And who would have thought that we see Sting and that we see a kick battle, a shin kick battle between Sting and Orange Cassidy in 2021 on AEW? I mean, my God, what a year it's been. But a good match. Darby wins over Will Yuta, and that's really all I have to say about it. So we moved on to, I think, besides the main event and the appearance of Nick Gage, this was my favorite thing of the night. We had Tony Schiavone in the ring. He was interviewing Andrade El Idolo, and he got a big pop. I don't know who he came out with, but he immediately takes the microphone away from Tony Schiavone. That's the new thing about these Tony Schiavone interviews. If you guys haven't caught up with it, every single interview that the guy is in, whoever he's interviewing in the first 30 seconds takes the microphone away from him. Do you realize that?
Yeah. Tony just doesn't have that good of luck with these interviews, does he? But God bless him, But yeah, this segment, man, got pretty wild pretty quickly, didn't it?
So Andrade cut a promo in Spanish. You know what's crazy about this segment? Before we even get into the big surprise, what's crazy about this? Half the segment, I couldn't understand what was being said by the Lucha Bros or Andrade. They were mostly speaking Spanish the whole time, and it actually came off impactful, and it actually felt real, and it felt it felt unscripted. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it didn't come off sounding forced in any way. The exchange was so like smooth. And then, you're in front of a crowd in Texas. In Texas, there's a lot of people in Texas that know Spanish, that they
Yep.
do know Spanish. And so like this is a great crowd to do this in because a lot of people in that crowd will understand what they mean. And for the most part, they did. I mean, they heard the reactions from the crowd when they were speaking in Spanish. They had their like oohs and ahs and stuff. So people understood exactly what Andrade and the Lucha Brothers are saying. So I love that they ended up doing this segment in a destination where, people will understand what they're talking about.
But Andrade's big surprise is he brings out his new consultant. I think that's what he called it, his consultant or something. He brung out Chavo Guerrero. And when I saw this, I literally screamed out, I love it. I absolutely love it. This, in my opinion, this is actually better than Zelina Vega. Having Chavo there with Andrade, coming from Vicky's family, I absolutely love it, and it makes a whole lot of sense. He got a massive pop, like a babyface pop, even though he came out from the heel tunnel. So, man, Chavo Guerrero with Andrade, I'm pretty sure he signed. I think he signed, and he's gonna be all elite. Man, I love it. That's something I did not think I needed to see. But Chavo Guerrero with Andrade El Idolo, man, it just clicks.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I definitely did not expect the Chavo Guerrero appearance, but I love the fact that we did. I mean, it's better than him being with Andrade than Vicky Guerrero. Honestly, like Chavo being with Andrade, like you could tell right off the bat, it clicks. It clicks right there. I was like, yes, this and this goes perfect together. It's a perfect recipe. And man, I was so hyped, and the Texas crowd was hyped too to see Chavo. And man, you could tell Chavo was feeling that excitement when he was in that ring. He's talking on the mic, man. He's loving everything about it, and he even said on the mic like, "This is where wrestling is. This is where it all is right here in AEW." And so it's just awesome to see, man. I mean, another big surprise tonight. Chavo, the executive consultant of Andrade El Idolo. I mean, Andrade's got all the connections to the Guerrero family right now, man. It's pretty awesome to see. And then of course we say the Lucha Brothers and Pac, the Death Triangle, come out and it was what a confrontation it was. And so a lot of people are saying that eventually this probably will lead to Andrade getting the Lucha Brothers to turn on Pac, and Andrade will become their leader because, like he said, everyone follows Andrade. Everyone listens to me. And so, that's why I feel like eventually we probably will go down. But I don't know how they're going to do it. I hope we get a series of matches with these guys. Andrade with all three of these men, one-on-one. I mean, you talk about absolute money with all three of these matches. Andrade Pentagon, Andrade Ray Phoenix, Andrade Pac. I mean, sign me up, plug it into my veins, do all of that, please. What an amazing segment this was, man. I don't know what's going to come of it just yet, but I'm so hooked in for the ride. It's just absolutely awesome to see.
I think that this will end up being, like you said, eventually at the end all be all. The end all be all is going to be the Lucha Brothers turning on Pac to join up with Andrade, and I think this will actually lead to a match at the pay-per-view between Andrade and Pac for that to happen. And man, like you said, we need a series of matches with Andrade and Penta, Andrade and Phoenix, and Andrade and Pac. Like, how are those not 5-star matches,
I know, exactly, man. I mean, that's what we need as fans, man. We need to see those matches happen, and it's gonna be amazing, man. I love what they're doing with Andrade right now. I mean, Andrade. I mean, you can tell by the aura he gives off when he's in that ring, man. This guy is $1,000,000 right now. I mean, he's got the nice suit, the aura and the charisma that oozes off of Andrade, man. It feels so natural. It feels so real. It doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel like boring at all. It's so great to see, man. I mean, it's just you could just feel it right through your television screen.
Absolutely, man. Gotta love it, man. Some great, great stuff going on with this segment, and saw something on Twitter, and I don't know if it's true, but people are talking about Ricky Morton. I have no idea, but Oh, he just tweeted out that I want to be a part of the AEW show in Charlotte. So we could see the Rock and Roll Express next week. Who knows?
Hey, so I wouldn't mind that. Rock and roll. I'm amazed those guys are still going at their age, man. I gotta say, I mean, those guys are some real fighters, man. Those are true professional wrestlers right there.
I mean, I would like it. You know,
Yeah, why
hey,
not?
maybe they get maybe they get revenge on FTR. Remember when FTR took them out?
That's you know what I could see that maybe they come and help Santana Ortiz because Tully's gonna try and get involved in any way he can. So why not bring out the Rock and Roll Express to help out Santana Ortiz? I would love it. I think that would be awesome.
Hey, man, we'll see what happens, but that is a match happening next week. Santana and Ortiz versus FTR. Uh, I mean, freaking, this could be the best tag team match of the entire year, man. We'll get to that when we get to the entire Fight for the Fallen card. But we have Nyla Rose versus Britt Baker for the AEW Women's Championship. The build to this has not been good. I do not care. I did not care about this. The heel versus heel dynamic, I did not like. Britt Baker was the clear babyface in this match. Nobody wanted to see her drop the title. Uh, Paul Turner made a huge botch when Britt Baker did a backslide and he like hesitated twice before he made the 3 count and then he made one and Nyla Rose kicked out. That was horrible. I love the show tonight. It was an awesome show, but gotta call out the criticisms. That was ridiculous.
Absolutely, yeah. That was a really horrible botch on Paul Turner's end, and the crowd definitely let him hear it after he did that botch. But yeah, this match, yeah, like you said, Joseph. I mean, I'm with you. I wasn't into this feud going into this match. The match was pretty clunky and sloppy to start it off. I think by the end of it, though, it ended up being a good match. They started to kind of hit their stride a little more. But yeah, I mean, Brett obviously retains. I mean, there's no way she was going to drop that title. Hopefully, she gets into a better title program after this because yeah, this just wasn't it with her and Nyla Rose. I mean, I guess in a way, I can I don't know, maybe appreciate AEW for trying something here with Nyla and Britt, but it just didn't really ultimately work in the end. And I hope they have just something better lined up for Britt Baker after this. But good match. Britt retains, and the crowd, man, they love Britt Baker. I honestly think her and Hangman might be the two most over wrestlers in that entire company. Like we talk about like the most over male and the most over female in the company.
Oh,
Like Hangman and Britt, I think are at the top.
well, yeah, men and the female, obviously it's Britt Baker. But if you say that who are the two most over people in AEW, I would probably say Hangman Page and Jungle Boy. I think he's more over than Britt Baker is. But this was great towards the end. I really liked the ending. It was a good match. Rebel tried to get involved. Vicky Guerrero tried to get involved. Nyla Rose tapped out to the lockjaw, and thank God this feud's over. I hope we can move on to Chris Statlander next because I think that's the next match at All Out because who's possibly going to face Britt Baker next? I don't know. But it seems like Chris Statlander, she's getting TV time. She's with Orange Cassidy. We talked about this last week, 2 weeks ago. We talked about this 2 weeks ago. To the fact that just Orange Cassidy being with Chris Statlander is gonna get her over a lot. So I think that's your next challenger.
Yeah, I could see that. I think that would definitely be a great women's title match to set up for All Out with Statlander and Baker. I think Statlander is in the top 5 rankings for the women. I'm pretty sure she is. And yeah, I mean, like you said, Joseph, I mean, I don't know who else to really build up right now at this point for Britt Baker. I think Chris Statlander is probably the ideal woman you want to go with to face Britt Baker next.
Absolutely. So Nyla Rose back of the line, done, and we can move on. Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy earlier tonight got knocked out by the Blade. And boy, did the Blade really look stupid in this. And he had his entrance. Orange Cassidy's theme music played. This guy's acting like he's not even coming, like Cassidy's not coming out. He's like, raise my hand in victory. Meanwhile, clearly, the guy's music's playing in the background, loud, and then he comes in the ring and attacks the Blade. I don't know. I thought he was made to look like a complete idiot right there.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, the match itself. I mean, it was a good match. I thought it ended up being a nice match between both these guys. But I was honestly expecting. I thought the Butcher was going to come back tonight. Honestly, when this match was announced, but we still haven't seen the Butcher. I thought I heard that he was cleared, but I don't know. I mean, maybe they're just waiting a little more. But nice match for what it was. I don't know where you really go with Cassidy after this. I mean, I think you brought up Cassidy and Miro could be a solid TNT title for him for All Out. I could see that. But we'll have to see. But Orange Cassidy wins, obviously. Don't really know where we go from here. I guess can't really tell right now.
Yeah, I really not really much investment in this match. Cassidy was really over with the Dallas crowd. He did the shin kicks to the Blade after the bit, and then the Blade gave him a big clothesline. My man Blade getting some heat tonight, dude. He got some heel heat. Good for him.
Yeah, good for him. Yeah, man. It's good to see. I mean, this is what happens when you have such an over baby face. I mean, we've seen this even in the opening match with Spears and Jericho. Like, Spears is getting a lot of good heel heat on him because Jericho is so over because he's one of the most beloved wrestlers of all time. And so, like, it's just amazing to see, like, how over you make your baby faces on your show, and it makes the heel in the match look that much better because they're getting so much heat. So, we've seen it with Spears, we've seen it with Blade right here.
Exactly. We see it even. I peeped on Elevation I think it was Darby Allin versus Angelico. And when Angelico was like showboating to the crowd, I mean, this guy's getting booed and he's getting some heel heat because he's in there with a big baby face like Darby Allin. So I love how in AEW, you might not be the biggest heel, but if you're going up against a big baby face that people love and adore, you get yourself some heat. So I love that. I absolutely love that.
Absolutely, it's great to see, man. I mean, AEW knows how to build up their talent and make them into big stars. I mean, we're seeing it time and time again with each and every big man and woman we're seeing on screen every week.
hmm So Cassidy wins with the orange punch over the Blade, and that was that. Solid match, nothing too crazy, but crowd was really into it, and that was that. But we got Fight for the Fallen next week live from Charlotte, North Carolina, man. The Bojangles Center. NXT co-host, shout out to Cameron Johnson. He's gonna be at the show next week, man. Uh man, super jealous, but it's all right. We got huge card next week. A huge card to talk about next week. We got the 5-on-5 match with Elite and Dark Order, Hangman Page. I'm guessing that's going to be the main event. We got Christian Cage and the Jurassic Express against Private Party and Angelico. We got Painmaker Jericho against Nick Gage in a no rules match. Should be insane, man. Santana and Ortiz against FTR. Tony Khan. TK. Tony Khan is going to be on the show next week. I think he's going to be on the show. I don't know how they're going to do it, but Tony Khan's going to announce a major show happening in the next couple weeks. What that show is, man, I have no clue. But we're just going to have to wait and see. And then we have, for a third week in a row, an IWGP U.S. Championship match as the winner of tonight's main event is going to go one-on-one with, I'm looking at his name now. I don't want to mess his name up, but I'm gonna predict his name's Hikuleo from the
Hikuleo.
Hekuleo. My bad.
Yeah.
Hekuleo from the Bullet Club, and we'll talk about him later on after the main event. But the main event tonight, IWGP US Championship match: Lance Archer versus John Moxley in a Texas death match. This match was beautiful, man. This was a beautiful match with violence and carnage. There were forks, trash cans, kendo sticks, you name it. These guys killed each other for 15 minutes, man. Archer was bleeding all over the place. Then Mox was bleeding, and they were fighting on the outside. And Moxley hit a paradigm shift at the end. Archer got up at 4, and he gave the, I'm not going to do it here, but he gave the middle fingers to John Moxley, and then he proceeded to get a clothesline from Moxley, I think. Then Moxley was like, Jesus Christ, how am I going to put this guy away? And then he goes under the ring, and he gets two, it seems like two boards of barbed wire underneath the ring, and he's got two tables on the outside, and he puts them on top of the tables, and he's looking to give Archer a paradigm shift, but Archer jabs him with the fork a couple of times. He picks up Moxley. He gives him a choke slam through the tables onto the barbed wire. Moxley cannot get up at 10 in this Texas death match. He cannot get up at 10. And Lance Archer, thank God, Lance Archer is your new IWGP US champion, man. We talked about this last week. Lance Archer really needed this win for himself, man. It felt like every big match he was in for a championship, he's taken the L. He took the L to Cody at the Double or Nothing in 2020. He took the L to Moxley in the world title match. He took the L to Miro at this year's Double or Nothing. He really needed this big win tonight. And you know what, man? They gave it to him in his hometown. What a coincidence! Wrestlers win in their hometown. That should happen every time.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It's unheard of.
That's
a
like
wrestler
the first,
winning in their hometown.
listen, that's like the first time I've raised my voice on an AEW review, but it's in a good way.
In a good way.
It's like, seriously, it should happen every time. Wrestlers should always win in their hometown.
Take notes, Vince. Take freaking notes. Anyway, I loved this. I loved everything about this. I labeled it on Twitter, beautiful carnage. That's exactly what it was, man. My boy, Lance Archer, my freaking boy, Lance Archer, new IWGP United States champion. We called it. It needed to happen, and it happened. And it was the right decision. This was beautiful. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what Jericho and Gage got planned next week, but I don't know how you're going to top that. I mean, I'm going to be honest, like, I watched their first Texas Death match at Wrestle Kingdom in New Japan. I like this one more. The first one was great. I'm not going to discredit that, but this one I enjoyed more because, man, it was like even more beautiful carnage, and man, it was just great. It was just great. I don't know how you could really cover it, man. I mean, they killed each other. They killed each other tonight, and I loved it. I love how tough and badass they looked at the end of it. And now next week we got Hikuleo going one-on-one with Lance Archer for the IWGP US Championship. Man, that title's getting a lot of coverage on AEW Dynamite. Third week in a row, man. It's gonna be great. Hikuleo is a big dude too. Anyway, you stand face to face with Archer at the end of the show. Man, it was quite something. I must say. And man, it should be a great match next week. But man, I love it, man. We got Impact, New Japan, AAA, AEW. I mean, all these companies, man, just coming together. It's so beautiful to see, man. Dynamite, AEW delivered another great episode, night 2 of Fyter Fest. Next week, we got Fight the Fallen. We got a stacked card once again. Joseph, I'm loving this, man. I'm loving it. I'm loving it so much. I cannot get enough of it. I want next Wednesday to just get here again, man. This is my fill of pro wrestling for the week, and I love it so much, man. I love getting on here and talking about it with you. Man, it's just a great time. It's just a great, great time.
I feel like Hikuleo and Archer seeing that face off. Hikuleo is taller than Archer, so I'm expecting a big hoss fight next week between these two guys. I have never seen a Hikuleo match before. I might or might not go watch a match of his I might not just to surprise myself and see how he is. But Archer, I'm so happy. He needed this win desperately. Moxley, this does not hurt him at all. Losing this match to Lance Archer, and it gives Archer a new a new leash on life, really, with this IWGP championship, the U.S. title. And before we go here, since we wrapped up on the show, 2 weeks, not at All Out. In 2 weeks, we're getting Cody Rhodes versus Malachi Black. I was shocked, but we're getting that at the AEW Homecoming show at Daly's Place, August 4th. So that's when we're getting Cody Rhodes versus Malachi Black. I was shocked. What about you?
I was shocked as well, man. I really did think they were going to save that for All Out, but they're doing it on the Homecoming episode in Jacksonville. Man, I can't wait for this match. I really cannot wait for this match. I mean, they've built up this feud already so beautifully. And, man, get this, too. It's 3 days before I graduate college. 3 days. I got that. The night after, I'm going to a concert in Nashville of a great rock band that myself and my good friend really like. So we're going to get to go see them in Nashville. And then August 6th, I pick up my cap and gown. August 7th, I'm graduating college, baby. So, man, what a week it's going to be for me. What a week it's going to be for me, man. I mean, I'm going to get to see Malachi Black versus Cody Rhodes, and then concert, pick up cap and gown, college graduation, man. I don't know if you could ask for a better week than that.
Man, the kid's living his life, dude. He is living his life. But man, what a show tonight. Excellent show, I thought, dude.
Absolutely, yeah. AEW knows how to deliver quality television, and we talk about this every week, man, and it's just what to expect with AEW, man. Not every episode will be the greatest, but, man, at the end of it, you still feel satisfied. You still have that satisfied feeling inside your belly, and you're just craving more. You crave more, and next week, man, Fight for the Fallen is bound to be another great show. I mean, AEW's got so many tricks up their sleeve right now, man. I mean, it's just they're full of surprises, and it's going to continue to come as the year continues to go on here in 2021, man. And I just cannot wait for it, man. Fight for the Fallen next week, Fighter Fest, grand success for both weeks. I love it, man. I love it.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap up tonight's Fighter Fest Night 2 review. Thank you all for watching. If you have not already, be sure to subscribe to the Big Fight Field channel, man, for some more content this week. We got SmackDown on Friday. I might do a video over the weekend, not sure yet, but be sure to subscribe. Comment down below your thoughts about tonight's episode of AEW from Dallas, Texas. Let us know what you think in the comments, man. We want to hear it. And hit the like button if you like what you heard from myself and Wesley Williams here on the review. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Conlon_Joseph. And Wes, plug your socials, dude.
Oh, it's time. You know it's that time. Big_Wes18 on Twitter. That's Big_Wes18, BIG_WES18. I will have to say this here. I already talked about it on my Twitter. If you are following me, I'm going on a hiatus from NXT. After what WWE and Vince McMahon did to the brand, I just cannot invest myself any longer in this brand. I mean, maybe one day it'll be revitalized, but I just don't see the point in investing in a brand where, you know, eventually a lot of these men and women are going to find their demise on that known as the main roster in WWE. So just want to make that clear there. So from now on, I will be solely covering AEW. Of course, Dynamite on Wednesday nights. I might try to fill in that Tuesday slot now that it's kind of open. I might maybe try to do some coverage of AEW Dark or AEW Elevation if I can't watch it on Monday. So stay tuned. You got to be following me on those socials. Now, I'm almost at 700 followers. I'm about 20 away from 700 followers on Twitter. So if you could get those numbers up for me, that'd be awesome. I cover AEW and I cover, pro wrestling the best way I know how to. And so does Joseph Conlon. Make sure you go follow him as well, man. And follow us here at Big Fight Field. Subscribe, like, comment. Let us know what you thought about Fighter Fest Night 2. Joseph and I, again, another banger review, another banger show. And next week, it's going to be no different with Fight for the Fallen. We're going to keep bringing the hits just like AEW, man. And I think we're out of here.
Oh, why? Thank you, man. Thanks for the compliment. Make sure you go follow him, get him to 700 followers, and folks, we will see you next Wednesday for Fight for the Fallen, and I will see you Friday for the SmackDown review here on the channel. So you guys have a good night, stay safe, and as always, stay classy, man.